Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
So yesterday we were doing sums on arbitrage. We had done on call option. Today we'll start with the put option. So the fifth sum is on put option. Suppose that a put option of 100 shares, so number of shares is equal to 100, is selling at a premium of rupees 4.8. So option premium rupees 4.8. Share price is 67. This is your S naught 67. Exercise price is 70. So exercise price 70. And whether there is any arbitrage gain. And this is a put option. So first we need to find the intrinsic value. For a put option, what is the formula for intrinsic value? Maximum of 0 or
E minus S naught.
E minus S. So intrinsic value is equals to maximum of 0 or E is 70 minus S naught is 67. 70 minus 67, 3 rupees. So intrinsic value will be equal to 3 rupees. Now we compare the intrinsic value and the premium. Premium is 4.8 rupees. Okay, both are different. That means there is arbitrage possible. So, but if you see the gain is 3 rupees and the premium is 4.8. So from the option you're gaining only 3 rupees, but you're paying 4.8 rupees. So is the option overvalued or undervalued? Premium is greater than intrinsic value.
Overvalued.
So the option is overvalued. Understand, if your gain is less and you're paying more in the form of premium, then you call the option overvalued. If your gain is more but the premium paid is very less, then the option is undervalued. So if it is overvalued, we sell the option. So we are writing here first step, sell the put option. That means you don't want the right, you're giving the right to somebody else. So if you sell the put option, you receive premium, and premium is 4.8 rupees into 100 shares. So you receive 480. Then once you have sold the option, the other party has the right to sell. Put option is right to sell. So you have given that to the other party. So whenever the other party agrees to sell, you need to do what? You need to buy it from them. So when you don't have the put option, that means you are the buyer. The other party has the right to sell. So he is the seller. So whenever the other party decides to sell, you'll have to buy. So we'll buy the shares in the put option because you don't have the option. You are obliged to buy. Somebody else has the option to sell. They will sell, and whenever they will sell, you'll have to buy. So in the option we are buying, so we are buying at the exercise price. 70 rupees is the exercise price. So rupees 70 into 100 shares. So when you buy, you will have to pay 70 into 100, that is 7,000 rupees. You have received a premium of 480 and you're paying 7,000 rupees to buy the shares. Now what will we do keeping these shares with us? After we buy it in the option, we can sell it in the open market. So sell the shares in the open market for rupees, whatever is the S naught value. S naught value is 67. So we need to sell it for 67 rupees. So 67 into 100. So you will receive 6,700. So you have received 480 premium and 6,700 by selling the shares, and you have to pay 7,000 to buy the shares first. In the option you need to buy the shares, and then those shares you can sell it in the open market. So arbitrage gain is equal to see 6,700 plus 480, it is 7,180 minus 7,000, so the gain will be 180. All of you getting this? Is that okay, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we can also try our shortcut. Intrinsic value and premium is given. To do the shortcut, what we do? We minus the premium from the intrinsic value. So 4.8 minus 3, 1.8 is the gain. Into 100 shares if I do, I get 180, which is what is my arbitrage gain. So this is how we can do it for put option. Let's do the next sum. Suppose that the put option suppose that the put option of 100 shares is selling at a premium of rupees 5. So here there is number of shares equal to 100. Option premium is equal to rupees 5. Share price, that is S naught, is equal to 50. Exercise price 56, and this is a put option. Again, the first step is to find the intrinsic value, maximum of 0, or it's a put option, so E minus S naught. So intrinsic value is equal to maximum of 0, or E is 56 minus S naught is 50. 56 minus 50 is 6 rupees. So your intrinsic value will be equal to 6 rupees. Now we'll compare. Intrinsic value is 6 and premium is 5. So you're gaining 6 rupees, but you're paying only 5 rupees. So is the option overvalued or undervalued?
Undervalued.
Undervalued. As premium is less than intrinsic value, the option is undervalued. If it is undervalued, should we buy the option or sell the option?
Buy the option.
Buy the put option. If you buy the put option, you have to pay premium. Okay? Buy the put option by paying premium. So premium is 5 rupees and there are 100 shares. So rupees 5 into 100 is equal to 500. You are paying. If we are paying, I'll write it in the bracket. This money is going out. Now, if you have the put option, that means you have the right to sell. So you can sell the shares in the option contract. But before you sell the shares, you need to have it with you. You need to buy the shares from the open market and then sell it. Because you just entered into a contract. We don't have that company's shares with us. So first I will buy the shares from open market so that I can sell it in the option. So open market means I have to take S naught, and the value of S naught is 50 rupees. So you invest 50 rupees per share into 100, which is equal to 5,000 rupees to buy the shares. So what you did, first you bought option by paying 500 rupees premium, then you bought shares by paying 5,000 rupees in the open market. Now these shares you can sell in the option contract, and in the option contract you can sell it for the exercise price, and the exercise price is 56 rupees. So 56 into 100, you can sell it for this much amount. So 56 into 100 is 5,600. You have paid 500 premium, 5,000 for buying the shares. So you have paid 5,500 and you have received 5,600. So arbitrage gain will be equal to 100 rupees. And if you do the shortcut also, in premium minus intrinsic value, 5 minus 6, you get 1 into 100, 100 rupees is your gain. Okay, let's do the last sum if you don't have any doubts in this. Suppose that a put option of 250 shares is selling at a premium of 7. So number of shares is equal to 250. Premium is 7. S naught is 51. That is share price. Exercise price is 45. And we have to find the arbitrage gain. This is a put option. So first step is to find the intrinsic value. Equal to maximum of 0, comma E minus S naught, because it's a put option. So intrinsic value is equal to maximum of 0, comma E is 45 minus S naught is 51. 45 minus 51 is minus 6. So intrinsic value is equal to maximum of 0, comma minus 6. Out of 0 and minus 6, maximum is 0. So intrinsic value will be equal to 0. Now we'll compare the intrinsic value and the premium to find whether it's overvalued or undervalued. So intrinsic value is equal to 0, comma premium is equal to 7 rupees. That means the option is gaining 0 rupees, but we are still paying 7 rupees premium. So is it undervalued or overvalued?
Overvalued.
Overvalued.
The option is, yes, the option is overvalued because you're not gaining anything, but still the market is asking you to pay 7 rupees. So the value is too high in the market, whereas the option gain is very little. So now what we do is, if it is overvalued, we sell the option. We don't keep it with us, because only undervalued we buy, overvalued we sell. So we sell the put option and receive premium of rupees 7 into 250 shares. 7 into 250 is 1,750. This you are receiving. Now you have sold the put option. That means the other party has the right to sell. So whenever the other party wants to sell, you need to buy. So we will say buy the share in the option contract, because you are obliged to buy. The right to sell you have given it to other party. So in the option contract, you can buy the share at 45 rupees into 250, which is equal to, okay, just 1 second. Huh? Just one correction here. And that I had to do in the previous class sum also, which I forgot. I'll do it now. All of you listen to me carefully. Here the intrinsic value is how much? 0. If the intrinsic value is 0, then the option will get lapsed, no? I hope all of you remember whenever we did payoff. I'll just take you there. See here, we did the payoff graphs, and whenever we had loss or 0, 130 minus 130 was 0. Then 130 minus 140 was minus 10. So we lapsed the option. 130 minus 150 was minus 20. We lapsed the option. So here the intrinsic value was 0, gross payoff. So whenever the intrinsic value is 0, you basically lapse the option. You don't do arbitrage or anything, or you don't exercise the option. Okay, let us understand one more logic. Suppose I have sold this put option to Shubham. Okay, now Shubham has the right to sell. So will Shubham sell it to me in the option for 45 rupees? That is the exercise price of the option, 45 rupees. So Shubham will sell it to me for 45 rupees in the option, or he'll go to the open market and sell it there for 51 rupees.
Open market.
Open market, because Shubham feels that there is profit in the open market. And remember, Shubham has the put option. Put option means right to sell. He has the right to decide. There is no compulsion on him. I'm not forcing him that you need to sell the share to me only. I have to just sit quiet. Whatever Shubham decides, whatever his decision, whether he wants to sell the share to me or to sell it in the open market, I need to oblige. So Shubham will never sell it to me for 45, because he knows that there is a loss if I sell it to her for 45. I can go to the open market and sell it for 51, and I can gain better. So what happens here is, whenever the intrinsic value is 0, the option gets lapsed. So here, next step we will write, as the intrinsic value is 0, the option gets lapsed. Therefore, arbitrage gain is full rupees 1750 premium. As a person, if I have sold the option, I have received premium of 7 rupees on 250 shares. So my gain, arbitrage gain, is the full amount of premium, that is 1750, because Shubham is not going to exercise the option. He is not going to sell me the shares. I need not buy it from him for 45 and go and sell it in the market for 51. He says, I don't want to sell only to you. He'll directly go to the market and sell it. So for me, only the premium that I've received is with me, and that is my full gain. Okay, similar sum I had done for call option. We had actually solved there, even if the intrinsic value was 0. And here, see, even if the intrinsic value was 0, we solved it. And if you see, we got a gain of 1800 rupees, which is too high, because the other party won't agree to do it. They will lapse it if there is a loss. As soon as you get here minus 12, no, the call option holder will say, I am in loss, I don't want to exercise the option. and the gain will be only this 600 premium that is received. It cannot be 1800 rupees, because the other party is not a fool to still see. Call option is right to buy. When the other party can buy it for 64 rupees in the open market, why will he come to you and buy it from you for 76 rupees? And even at that time, when he has the right to decide, there is no force. It's not a futures contract that you have entered into. The contract means you have to buy only. It is an options contract in which the call option holder has the right to decide whether he wants to buy or no. So any fool only will decide to buy at 76 rupees from me when he knows that it is available for 64. And when he has a choice to reject the option contract and go to the market, he will obviously reject it. But if he still buys from me and he goes to the, instead of going to the market, he will lose, and I will gain the premium plus additional amount. So 600 premium plus 1200 rupees extra I am gaining, which is not possible in real life. Nobody would do that. So here also this part I'm deleting it. This is a correction. Whenever there is intrinsic value 0, the option gets lapsed. Okay, and again arbitrage gain is the full amount is 600 premium. I hope you are understanding. This I had taught you yesterday, but then it was incorrect, because when the intrinsic value is 0, the call option holder will never exercise and accept a loss of 12 rupees. According to him, if he does it, he will lose 12 rupees here plus 6 rupees premium. Total 18 rupees he is losing. So if he lose 18, I will gain 1800. Nobody wants to lose such a high amount. So he will not exercise the option, he will lapse it, and I will gain only the premium 600 rupees. Is that clear? I don't think any other problem had intrinsic value 0. That was the only one yesterday that we did. Any doubts, anybody? Whenever the intrinsic value is 0, what we should do? We should
Lapse the
exercise or
option.
lapse?
Lapse.
Lapse the. Correct. Understood this? Any doubts?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Yesterday's okay. Yesterday's correction also I hope was clear. Now let's go to the next part of the chapter, that is valuation of option. Okay, now what do we mean by valuation of option? In all the sums that we did, if you remember, now let's go to the previous sum only. They have given you the premium amount, premium of rupees 7. Who decides this premium? How much should be given? 7 rupees, 8 rupees, 2 rupees, 5 rupees. Who has to decide this? So the actually the stock exchange or the broker or the person who is the intermediary, the clearing house, plays a role in deciding this. But there is a method of calculating it. So even if it is decided by somebody, depending upon the market demand and supply, we can still calculate it and find out that the premium is high or low, the option is undervalued or overvalued. So valuation of options, by valuation of options I mean that we are going to find the, so we are going to find the option price or option premium. It is known as price or premium. So when we solve these sums, we will get to know how much premium a person should pay to the other person for getting the right. So if it is a call option, right to buy, how much premium it should be received by the other party if he has sold the premium to the other person. So here we are finding out the amount of premium. Now to do this sum, this value or to find the option premium, there are two methods. One is the binomial model and the Black-Scholes model. So today we'll start with the binomial model. Now in the binomial model also there are 2-3 ways of doing it, step by step. No, it goes on getting tougher. But for us in the syllabus, there is no tough problems, or you can say higher versions of binomial model. They're just basic as to what is binomial model and how to find the premium. So step by step procedure is not there here. Only the basic first step that we do to find is what we are going to use. And for that, this is the formula. Is it visible clearly? This is CD. Okay, now first before we go into the formula, what is binomial model? Binomial model basically helps you in finding the premium of a particular option when the price of the option, or you can say when the share price goes either above or below your expectation. So suppose you said the share price is 50 rupees today. Now future is uncertain. In the future the price can go to 55, that is above 50. In that case, what should be the premium? It can come down to 45, below 50. So what should be the premium? So it basically finds out the risk level, if the price increases and if the price decreases. So it considers both upper limit and the lower limit of the share price and finds out the premium. And when we say binomial model, it basically uses the binomial distribution, not the normal distribution. Okay, I don't know how many of you have studied it in the graduation and all that. There is Poisson distribution, binomial distribution, normal distribution. So we name it as binomial model because it uses the binomial distribution. So it finds out the upper and the lower limit of how much. So the middle point, whatever is the share price, then the upper limit and the lower limit of the share price is considered. The solution is very simple if you remember this one formula. If this formula you are not able to remember, you will not be able to solve it. Usually it comes for 7 marks in many papers in the previous year. You can check, it has come for 7 marks. If you're very lucky, it can come for 10 marks also. Okay, so how to solve these sums now? First we'll understand each part of it. So C is nothing but the premium, and usually binomial model is done for a call option. You cannot do it, or nobody has tried it for a put option. If you see the sums that I'm going to do, everywhere there is a European call option. So binomial model can find the price of a call option only. Okay, so here value of a call option. Any sum you take up, which I have around 5 sums, and in the books also whenever I have seen, it just finds the value for a call option. So it's fit for finding the value of a call option. That's why the formula also, if you see, begins with C. C means call option premium. If we write only P, it is confusing which premium, whether it's for put or for call. That's why instead of writing P, instead of finding premium, they write C if it is a call option premium, and they write P if it is a put option premium. So this model is fit only for the call option premium. What is this model all about? Its theory, assumptions, and all we'll discuss when I discuss the theoretical part. Today we will do the sums on it. So here CU is nothing but U and D. U means upward, D means downward, or U means upper value and D means lower value. So if you want to find the intrinsic value of upper limit, then the formula is maximum of S1 minus E comma 0 or 0. Then CD, the same formula, only now here this S1 will change in both the case. Here we'll take the upper limit stock price, that is the higher value, and here we'll take the lower limit stock price, that is the lower value. Okay, then next is U and D. U is upper limit, D is lower limit. How to find the value of U? S1 upon S0, and D is S1 divided by S0. Here S1 is greater than S0 and here S1 is lesser than S0. So here upper limit of share, here lower limit. I know like this you will not understand. I'll do the sum, it will get more clear. In the formula, we use CU, CD, D, and U. So all that I have solved. Now what left is I. I is nothing but 1 plus whatever is the interest into n divided by 12. So if it is a 1 month contract, 1 divided by 12. If it is a 6 month contract, 6 divided by 12. Suppose they give it in days, then it will be n divided by 365 days. Okay, so I'll write here. If it is in days, you need to divide by 365 days. If it is weeks, you need to divide by 52 weeks. There are 52 weeks in a year. Okay, so here general formula is n by 12 because the details will be given in months most of the time. But if it is given in days, if n is said as 60 days, then you should do 60 divided by 365. If n is given as 15 weeks, then 15 divided by 52 weeks. So whatever the n value is given, depending upon that, the denominator has to be decided. If it's in months, divide by 12 or 365 or 52. N is the time period which will be given. And the next is the hedge ratio. Hedge ratio tells you how many option contracts you should buy, how many options contracts you should buy to reduce your risk or to transfer your risk from the hedger to the speculator. So when we did futures also, we found something called as hedge ratio, that is number of contracts we used to find, right? Remember, we did the last part of the sums on hedging, and it said how much, what should be the number of contracts if a person wants to hedge his portfolio, and so and for March futures and all those. So similarly here in options also you can find the hedge ratio. Here you will not get to know the number of contracts, but you will get to know the percentage of your portfolio. How much, if your portfolio is of 10 lakh, then the hedge ratio, if they say is 20, that means 20% of your portfolio you can hedge. If they say the hedge ratio is 80, that means 80% of your portfolio you can hedge. Usually when we solve for hedge ratio, no, we are not finding what percentage of a portfolio, but we are actually finding, you can say, the risk level or the standard deviation level here. So how much is the risk that a person is carrying? This I will explain you again in theory. What does it mean? Here just understand the formula. Let's do the first sum so you will understand what I'm trying to say from so long. Okay, first we'll write down what is given. The current price of the share is rupees 50. So this is the S naught, that is 50 rupees. Okay, then it is believed that at the end of 1 month, so now they have given you the time period. Time means N. N is equal to 1 month. Okay. The price will be either rupees 50 or rupees 45. Now see here, they have given you two prices, that is, now this we will call it as S1. So after 1 month means in the future. Today is present, so I have written S0, 50 rupees here. Today's price is 50. After 1 month they are telling the price can be either rupees 50 or 45. Both cannot be, either it will be higher or it will be lower. Okay, just a second. Sorry, it's not 50, it's 55 or 45. Either rupees 55 or rupees 45. So this is your S1. Remember here I told you S1 two times we have taken CU, CD. Here upper limit means I have to take 55 as S1. Lower limit means I have to take 45 as S1. Then here also to find U, I have to take upper limit of S1, that is 55. To find D, lower limit of S1, that is 45. So there are two values for S1. One is the higher value above 50, one is the lower value below 50. And 50 is the today's value of the stock price, that is S0. I hope now it is getting bit clear. Okay, what will be the What will be European call option? What will be the value of a European call option with the exercise price of rupees 53? So now they have given us the exercise price which is equal to rupees 53. On this share, be valued at if the risk-free rate of interest is 15% per annum. So here they have told I is 15% per annum. Also calculate the hedge ratio applying binomial formulation. So we have to use the binomial model. Now remember one thing, sometimes in the question paper they will not tell you which model to apply. You have to see if they give you this kind of question, the price will be either 55 or 45. So if they give you upper limit and lower limit, then it is always binomial model. And if they ask you to do Black-Scholes model, in that they will always give you standard deviation. Here nowhere standard deviation is given. That means this is not Black-Scholes model. And upper and lower limit of share prices are given. That means it is binomial model. If they don't mention apply binomial model, how to understand? Okay, now before applying the final formula, we need to find CU, I, D, and U values, right? And CD. So let's use these things and find the values. Okay. So here CU is equals to maximum of S1 minus E or 0. Upper limit we have to take. So I'll write here CU is equals to maximum of S1 minus E. Upper limit means which S1 I should take, 55 or 45?
55.
55 minus E. Exercise price is given here. How much is the exercise price? 53. So 55 minus 53 comma 0, which is maximum that we have to take. So CU is equals to 55 minus 53 is plus 2. 2 or 0, which is maximum? 2 is maximum. So CU value is 2. Now let's see how to find the CD value. CD is equals to maximum of same formula S1 minus E or 0. Now here S1 what we should take? Okay, the formula is written there already, so I'll just solve it here. S1 minus E or 0. So here S1 will be the lower limit because CD, D means down, U means up, like that you remember. So here which is the lower value, 55 or 45?
45.
45. So here S1 we should take 45 minus exercise price is same 53 rupees or 0. 45 minus 53, what do you get?
minus 8.
Minus 8. Minus 8 or 0, which is maximum?
0.
0. So CD is 0. Okay. Any doubts till here?
No, ma'am.
Now we'll find the value of U and D. So what is U? U formula is S1 divided by S0. So U is equals to S1 divided by S0. So if I find U is equals to, now here S1, U means upper limit or up. So we are taking the higher value. So 55 and 45, the higher value is 55 divided by S0. S0 is the current share price, whatever the value it is today. So the current share price is 50 rupees. So 55 divided by 50. Let's see how much you get. 1.1. Are you getting 1.1?
Yes, ma'am.
Then we are doing D. D is the down value or lower value. So D, we have to take the lower S1, that is 45. divided by S naught is 50. So 45 divided by 50, if we do, we get 0.9.
0.9.
Yeah, correct. Now we'll find the value of I. So to find the value of I, this is the formula. So I'll write 1 plus I, that is 15% they've given. So 0.15 we can take it there. Into, sorry, into n divided by 12. N is 1 month. Here they have told us the time is 1 month. So 1 divided by 12. Okay, so if you solve it further, I is equals to 1 plus, just see, 0.15 into 1 by 12, how much you get? Just check if it is correct. 0.0125 you get.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So 1 plus 1 plus 0.0125, I will be equal to 1.0125. So we are going to use this I value. It is 1.0125. Any doubts still here?
No, ma'am.
Now we'll take the main formula and put these values to find the value of a call option premium or European call option premium. Okay. Now let's see. C is equals to, I'll put it in the bracket first to not get confused. CU. CU is how much? Just check. CU 2 rupees. So 2. Okay, then into, again a bracket in which we have to do division. So I'll put one more bracket. I minus D. You can write it in this way only, like this formula is, because you're writing in books. I'm typing it, so it's not possible. Okay, I minus D. I is 1.0125 minus D. D is the downward value, D 0.9. First we'll minus this and then we'll divide it. Divided by U minus D. You found out it was 1.1 minus D is 0.9. So we will minus both of it and divide with each other. This is the first part. Okay. To this we will add plus CD. CD was 0. Okay. Into U minus I. So U was 1.1 minus I 1.0125. This you divide by U minus D. U was 1.1 minus 0.9. Okay, this is the numerator. This entire thing should be divided by I, which is 1.0125. Now all of you listen to me carefully for a minute. If you look at this equation, this part, that is CD into U minus I, U minus D, which is specifically this part, I'll just highlight it. What you're doing here, just see, you're doing 0 into this value. So anything multiplied with 0 is 0. There is no need to solve this only. 1.1 minus 1.0125, then divided by 1.1 minus 0.9. Whatever answer you get, finally you're going to multiply it with 0. So it's going to remain 0 only. So this part of the equation, you need not solve only. the one which I have highlighted here. You can directly take it as 0. Only the first part, the CU part you need to solve. CD part will be 0 because you're doing 0 into U minus I and U minus D, which is again 0. So usually what happens is you solve the CU part and you divide it by I. So if I simplify the equation, it will be C is equals to 2 into, just see, 1.0125 minus 0.9.
0.1125.
0.1125 divided by, you are telling the final answer or minus 1?
Minus answer, ma'am.
Okay. 1.1 minus 0.9.
0.2.
0.2.
0.2. You're going to divide this and multiply it with 2. Then plus, here I'll directly take 0 because there is no use, if you do 1.1 minus 1, you will get values. Finally, you're going to multiply it with 0. So it's going to remain 0. Are you getting my logic? This entire thing, we need to divide it by I, which is 1.0125. So now if I solve for C, C is equals to, let's see, 0.1125 divided by 0.2. You get 0.5625 into 2, you do 1.125 you get. So 1.125 plus 0 is nothing. So you need not add anything, divided by 1.0125. So C will be equal to
1.11.
1.11. So the premium for this particular option is 1 rupee 11 paise per share. So 1.11 per share. So this is a shortcut way to solve. You need not do this part because multiplied with 0, just do CU divided by I. But in the formula, you need to show everything. Solution, you can skip that. So this is the call option premium. Now they have asked you to also do the hedge ratio. So I'll copy the formula of hedge ratio. Hedge ratio is equals to CU minus CD. CU was 2 minus CD was 0. So 2 minus 0 divided by S naught. S naught was 50 into, see here, S naught 50, the actual share price today. And CU you found here 2 rupees and CD 0. So 2 minus 0 divided by 50 into U minus D. U was the upper limit, that was 1.1 minus D was 0.9. If you solve for this, edge ratio will be equal to 2 divided by 1.1 minus 0.9 is 0.2. 50 into 0.2, you get it as
10.
10. 2 divided by 10,
0.2.
0.2. So your hedge ratio equal to 0.2. Usually your hedge ratio represents the risk on the portfolio. So you can say that there is 20% risk if I do into 100. Or you can say for every 1 rupee, 0.2 paise is the risk. When I discuss the theory, I'll explain you this in detail. Okay, so this is how we need to solve the sums of binomial model. Remember, the key is this formulas. If you don't remember these formulas, that is the major one, and then how to find CU, CD, then you will not be, and the formulas are not tough also. It's you already know that intrinsic value formula is S minus E. So the same I'm doing. Only thing is there are two S values. You should take the upper limit and lower limit. And for U and D, you need to remember this formula. S1 divided by S0, same S1 divided by S. So this was the first sum. Any doubts, anybody?
No, ma'am.
The next sum, even if I start, I won't be able to complete. So we'll do it in the next class. Next class is on Friday. I have two classes. In the totally 5 sums of binomial model, I'll complete these 5 sums, and I will be starting with the Black and Scholes model in the next class. Remember, Black and Scholes model is a 10-mark question in almost all the papers, and sometimes it is also come for case study, and it's a model that is worth understanding. It's little technical, but how it came up, how the sums are solved, all that is important in that. To do the Black and Scholes model, we need to use the table values of the normal distribution. So I will share those table values with you people so that you have them. Then I'll send the soft copy. You can open it in your PC or your mobile and check how I'm finding the table value. I'll show you that when I'm doing it in the class also. So Fridays, both the classes are very important. Binomial and Black-Scholes is what we are going to do. If there are no doubts, I'll share this with you. If anybody has time, you can actually start solving the binomial sums and see if you're getting the answers. I've already done the first one for you. The same method we're going to use for the remaining also. So today I'll share this document. You can try. If there are doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, you can type your roll numbers in the chat box and leave.